Belgium's Godiva brand is proudly celebrating its centenary this year, and in relation to this, the business has put forward one of its latest products for our World Confectionery Awards at the World Confectionery Conference, which is fast approaching on the horizon. We speak to Ahad Afridi, the Chief Marketing Officer, to reflect on its momentous milestone.
So for Godiva, it's a big milestone, um, achieving 100 years because it is an achievement, and to be 100 years old means you've done something right,
Mhm.
and you kind of stood the test of time. Not all brands can do that. Some brands are able to make it that long, but not all brands can do that. So you've achieved a hurdle there, hitting 100 years, and it's good to celebrate that. But more importantly, it's a time to, I think, step back and reassess it as well, reevaluate what made you successful, what are the opportunities, what are some things that make you um, very relevant for today's world, and how do you reinvent yourself for tomorrow's world? So it's kind of like a great moment in time to reassess the past, reevaluate for the future. And that's what we're doing. And since we met a year ago, there's been a lot of activity on the Godiva side, actually starting to take that, let's say, reevaluation, reassessment to
Reflection
heart.
there, and
And
obviously, centenary. It's kind of hard to contextualize it because none of us around for the origins of it in Belgium with Godiva there. But do you believe that there's been a strong custodianship of the brand and it stayed true to its roots from what you can perceive?
I think the brand from the beginning, and this is the I guess this relates to my point about there's some treasures within a brand. Sometimes they're hidden and need to be rediscovered. Sometimes they're very evident. But there are some things about Godiva that are true since the beginning. Godiva is special. Godiva is something that uh, makes you feel really good about it because you know it's extraordinary. And it makes the person who receives Godiva, but the person who also gives Godiva or eats Godiva or shares Godiva, um, really feel like it's a moment that is worth
Yes,
more.
Las Vegas itself there with Sweets and Snacks Expo. What did you make of it as a show? What was it like as an experience for you?
Well, it's always good to see the industry and what other players are doing, what they're talking about, what they're showing, what we assume to be their innovation and news, or at least infer, because as you know, y- companies have to be careful about what they show publicly versus what they show privately there. So when you're walking around, you get to see the public face and the things they want to present, but there's some hidden things that you may not understand unless you're supposed to be their audience. But nonetheless, it's great to walk the floor, great to see the other companies there. And it's great, primarily for us to be able to have the right conversations with potential customers or partners.
And there's
So
been a lot of activity with the uh, TV and screen campaigns with Leighton Meester there. So how influential has that been to your eyes?
it's really important for us, and it's had very strong impact. We call it kind of a reboot, relaunch, launch, kind of all in one with the launch of our masterpiece collection, or masterpiece product available in different formats, but that we started at the end of last year, and we had Leighton Meester as a spokesperson as part of that campaign, and we're using her as well as part of an ongoing year-long centennial uh, brand campaign, talking about Valentine's Day, talking about the 100-year centennial collection that we have. And she is an important part of showing kind of past and present and future on the brand. She relates to multiple generations. She does appeal to a younger demographic as well, even down to Gen Zs, not only millennials, but also Gen Zs. And she's a very good representative of Godiva values as well.
Yeah, well, I've seen those ad campaigns, and they're yeah very striking, and that's you kind of have to. Everyone has to up their game in this world where there's so much competition out there, and so I think that definitely achieved that with her involvement. But the actual products themselves, you talked there about the yeah those core ranges that were released, this Centennial range there. What was the response to that at the show? Would you say?
Well, so the response to that, we've just launched it in the market and we've got very good feedback on that. It's a special collection. It's done in a way that's true to Godiva's roots and Godiva's history, with one piece representing each decade, and the chefs working very, very diligently on trying to select what those pieces are. And true to the make sure you're relevant for today, there's also a new piece added for today, for this collection. Um, and so we feel really good about that, and it's got a nice pink colored package, which evokes memories of a pink truck that Godiva has used periodically over time, but started right after World War II, as a means of distributing product to people and making people feel good as they're kind of recovering after the war.
Yeah, but in terms of trying to I mean, navigate some of the tests there. I know there's obviously been quite widely reported, including by ourselves, that there's the supply chain issues and the cocoa prices in the background the past year or two have been tricky to manage. But how has the business coped with this fairly challenging period? Would you say?
Godiva's done a good job. It's growing. Our supply chain is challenged like other businesses are when it comes to cocoa prices over the last couple of years, and some of those burdens. But we've done a good job in managing that. The important thing is being able to keep pricing at a level that makes the brand accessible to our consumers, and so we've worked pretty hard on trying to do that. And,
Yeah.
and Neil, that's an important issue for us, or an important consideration, because a key part of our strategy over the last few years, and we're really taking it to heart now, is making sure that we're what we say democratizing luxury, which really means, I mean, Godiva is not a luxury product. It's a high-end quality chocolate, but the notion of it being more accessible to more people in more places, and that everybody should have the opportunity to enjoy Godiva chocolate and enjoy that feeling and the taste sensation, but also that kind of emotional reward, specialness of Godiva. And so being able to manage that and being able to provide that, being able to create the right portfolio for people to do that, is an important part of our strategy. We used to say that Godiva is for special moments, but now we say Godiva is for making moments special. You don't have to wait for
Mhm.
just those specific isolated special moments, but Godiva can make any moment special. And that's where being accessible, having the right products, being in the right place is important for us.
Can you tell me, what drew you to working with the business yourself, and what is it like as a culture and sort of enterprise to
Well,
work for?
so yeah, so it's interesting you mentioned that, because I just hit a 17-year anniversary in the company.
Great,
But
congratulations.
but when I started in the business, I had a mission of three things to do. One was to build consumer-driven brands. The second was to raise the capability of our commercial marketing functions. And the third was to help the holding company go global, be more international. And those are the same three things that I'm focused on today. I've done it in different parts. I've done it in the Turkey business, the UK business, now in the US business. I've worked for other markets and other markets as well. So personally, it's been a great, and professionally, it's been a great opportunity to have a consistent mission, but have it come to life in different ways, in different markets, different brands. We talked about McVitie's earlier, but certainly McVitie's and kind of, let's say, rejuvenating that in the UK over the last few years was a key part of the work we were doing. And so it's rewarding. And now Godiva is at that 100-year anniversary, and it's a great time to rejuvenate that brand as well.